Clucky was no ordinary chicken. She was very clever. Unlike the other chickens who were content with their daily routine, Clucky always had a spark in her eyes, a curiosity that set her apart. She would often be found deep in thought, pondering the mysteries of the world. Clucky lived in a coop with many other chickens. She dreamed of adventure. While the other chickens were happy pecking at the ground and clucking away, Clucky's mind was filled with visions of far-off places and grand adventures. She longed to explore the world beyond the confines of the coop. Clucky wanted to see the world beyond the fence. She would often stand at the edge of the coop, gazing through the fence, imagining what lay beyond. The vast fields, the tall trees, and the endless sky called out to her, promising excitement and discovery. Every day, Clucky watched Farmer Joe. He was a kind man who took good care of the chickens, but Clucky saw him as more than just a caretaker. To her, he was a symbol of the outside world, a world she desperately wanted to be a part of. He drove a big red tractor. The tractor was a fascinating machine, its powerful engine roaring as it moved across the fields. Clucky was mesmerized by its size and strength. The tractor seemed like a magical beast to Clucky. In her imagination, it was not just a machine, but a mighty steed that could take her on incredible journeys. She dreamed of riding it, feeling the wind in her feathers as they sped away from the farm. She imagined riding it beyond the farm. The thought of leaving the coop and exploring the world filled her with excitement and determination. She knew that if she could just find a way to get on that tractor, her dreams could come true. Clucky knew she had to find a way. She was not one to give up easily. With a determined look in her eyes, she began to hatch a plan. She would watch Farmer Joe closely, learning his routines and looking for the perfect opportunity to make her move. Clucky often shared her dreams with the other chickens. They would gather around her, listening to her tales of adventure and excitement. Some of them were intrigued, while others were skeptical. They would cluck and chuckle. "Chickens can't drive tractors," they'd say. "It's impossible." But Clucky didn't listen. She believed in her dreams and knew that with enough determination, anything was possible. "Chickens can't drive tractors," they'd say. But Clucky didn't listen. She was not discouraged by their doubts. Instead, their skepticism only fueled her determination. She was more convinced than ever that she could achieve her dream. She knew she could find a way to escape. Clucky was patient and observant. She watched and waited, knowing that one day the perfect opportunity would present itself. And when it did, she would be ready to seize it and embark on the adventure of a lifetime. Clucky studied Farmer Joe's routine. Every morning he filled the chickens' water, then he left the tractor keys in the ignition. This was her chance. Clucky knew she had to be quick. One morning, Farmer Joe filled the water. He turned his back for just a moment. This was it. Clucky flapped her wings and flew onto the tractor seat. She pecked at the keys. The engine roared to life. Clucky had done it. The tractor lurched forward. Clucky held on tight. She steered the big machine out of the coop. The other chickens looked on in amazement. The tractor bumped along the farm road. Clucky felt the wind in her feathers. She was free. Clucky honked the horn. The sound echoed across the farm. She was on her way to an adventure. She couldn't have been more excited. Section 4. A Grand Adventure Begins. On a bright and early morning, the farm was waking up to the first light of dawn. The chickens clucked softly in the barnyard, and the air was filled with the fresh scent of morning dew. Clucky, the bravest chicken on the farm, decided today was the day for an adventure. She hopped onto the tractor and drove past the barn. The pigs, who were busy snuffling around for breakfast, oinked in surprise as they saw her go by. They had never seen anything like it. The cows in the field lifted their heads and mooed, their big eyes following Clucky as she drove the tractor. They watched her go by with a mix of curiosity and admiration. It was as if they were cheering her on. Clucky felt like a real adventurer. With the wind ruffling her feathers and the sun shining down, she felt a sense of pride and excitement. She was doing something no chicken had ever done before. She steered the tractor through fields of sunflowers, the tall plants swaying gently in the breeze. The golden petals seemed to nod in approval as she passed by, creating a beautiful and vibrant scene. The bright yellow flowers towered over her, their heads turned towards the sun. Clucky felt small but mighty as she navigated through the towering sunflowers. Bees buzzed around, confused by the noisy red machine that had suddenly appeared in their peaceful field. They darted around, trying to make sense of the commotion. Clucky even drove through the town square. The townspeople stopped in their tracks, their eyes wide with astonishment. They had never seen a chicken driving a tractor before, and it was a sight to behold. No one had ever seen a chicken driving a tractor before. Clucky smiled, her beak curving up in delight. She was famous. Her grand adventure had just begun, and she couldn't wait to see where it would take her next. Section 5. Clucky, the town hero. The townspeople cheered for Clucky. Dogs barked excitedly. Even the grumpy old cat, Whiskers, looked impressed. Clucky felt proud. She had shown everyone that even a small chicken could have a big adventure. She was a hero. Clucky knew it was time to return home. She had seen so much. Her heart was full of joy. She steered the tractor back towards the farm. Section 6. Homeward Bound and Future Dreams. As the sun began to rise over the tranquil farmland, a new day was dawning, filled with endless possibilities and dreams yet to be realized. Farmer Joe was astonished to see Clucky, his adventurous chicken, driving the tractor back into the farmyard. It was a sight he never thought he'd witness. Despite the initial shock, he couldn't stay mad at Clucky for long. Her determination and spirit always brought a smile to his face. Clucky was no ordinary chicken. She had a unique charm and a distinctive look that set her apart from the rest. Her feathers glistened in the morning light, reflecting her special nature. With a sense of accomplishment, Clucky returned to the coop, her heart full of stories and experiences. The other chickens quickly gathered around her, their curiosity piqued by her unexpected adventure. They clucked excitedly, eager to hear every detail of her journey. Clucky's adventure had become the talk of the coop. As Clucky recounted her tale, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. She knew she would never forget her day of freedom, a day that had changed her forever. She had ventured beyond the familiar confines of the farm, seen the world beyond the fence, and experienced the vastness of the open fields. And even though she was back home, Clucky knew that this was just the beginning. There were always more adventures to be had, more dreams to chase and more stories to create. The horizon was just the start of her endless journey.